My turn? Well, we're, super excited, like I'm sure a lot of people are this time of year. We think we've got a really good crew, and I think the theme here is just progression. I think we've progressed. It's hard to believe that this is Coach St. John and Coach Metcalf and I are entering our 6th year at Iowa State. Time flies when you're having fun, right? And this has been fun and continues to be fun, and I think we've got a chance to have a really fun year. So with that, I'll let you guys talk to me.
What's the challenge and the opportunity for David moving up to 165?
I think that's great. I think challenge and opportunity are the two words, and I think that's what he strives for, and I think that's what he's about. 57 was a weight that was, he really had to focus on, and not that he did a bad job there. It wasn't the difference in him winning or losing and when he won and when he lost. It was just work, and I think with David's personality, and you know what, just to be quite honest, is when you have that kind of skill, you have the luxury of picking whatever weight you want. And he picked 165 this year, and that is really what it boils down to. Was he decided, you know what, I'm going to focus on eating, and I might not ever get more than 7 or 8 pounds overweight, but that's fine with me, and that's where I want to compete at. So I know he'll be ready to go. I know it's a good weight. I know it's a deep weight, and I think that makes it even more exciting. That's something you can go tell your grandkids, that you picked the hard weight and you won the hard weight.
Coach, can you touch on a little bit on what this freshman class is doing for the upperclassmen coming in and putting pressure on them?
So when this whole freshman class thing started, I did not realize it was going to morph into such a big class. With some gray shirts that we had around last year that are now technically freshmen as well, I think we're right at 20, 19 or 18 or right around 20. So there's strength in numbers, and these guys happen to be also pretty darn good wrestlers. They're very competitive, the whole group. They've really bonded together. I think that they're, going to be, make a difference right away for us. I know they have in the room in terms of just pushing the older guys, and there's no back seat taking right now. I can tell you that with this freshman class.
I know a guy like Casey Swiderski, you've been high on him since he got here. What does he bring? What have you seen so far?
Casey's just a competitor, and, he's kind of that savage dude you like to have in your room. I always tell everybody he's a little savage, and if you pick Casey, you better be ready to go. And he's going to be an exciting guy for Iowa State fans to follow over the next 5 years. He's just, it's really important to him, and he loves to compete. And when he gets dialed in, we saw it a couple times last year when he got those opportunities for those big national level matches. He did a great job.
He's the one listed in the starting lineup right now. Who are some other freshmen that have impressed you so far?
Well, we've got a lot of guys that have done a good job. I hate mentioning names. I mean, we've got, Rojas and Gaitan, and then the Frost brothers, and, Nando Villascuse, and gosh, I could keep going, the Perryman. We've got a bunch of guys that have really stepped up and done a good job for us in the freshman class. I probably forgot somebody, they're mad at me, but I already gave them the disclaimer that if I don't mention your name, don't take it personal. Blame it on my age or something.
What's the next step for Younger?
I think the next step for Younger is just continuing to get better folk style wrestling. I mean, I think that's the beauty of Younger, is he really likes to learn, and he's really taken it upon himself to try to ride now. He's even been trying to pin guys. Obviously, we have to continue to evolve in the bottom and be ready to pick bottom every time this year. And I think the other thing that is just learning how to wrestle a 7-minute folk style match is a big difference in wrestling a freestyle match. Just the difference of all the wear and tear on the mat when you come over and you've never learned it is the thing that he continues to evolve at either. But that dude's a competitor too, and I just think you got to be a strong competitor to get it done anymore at this level. You can be talented, you can be good, but if you're not a competitor, and he's a competitor.
Have you seen guys like Terakina, Skylar, Ramazan really respond after how they ended their season last year?
I think there's going to be some guys that we're familiar with name-wise that are getting ready to step up, though. You got Terakina, you got Ramazan, you got Redding, You got Judge. You got Skyler. You got of course everybody knows Coleman and Younger and David, but there's a bunch of those guys there that I think really made some improvements. I know Sam Skyler made some great improvements over the summer. Really excited to see him compete.
What are some of those improvements that he made? What did you see from him?
Well, I think we always knew there was a good wrestler in there. I think more than anything with Sam was just getting to believe in himself. For a guy that is big and strong as he is, he's got to get himself on his side, if that makes sense. He's got to become a bigger fan of himself. So I'm trying to get him a whole lot cockier. That's my goal, is to get him really cocky this year. Once we get a cocky Sam, we're going to have a really good guy.
No, 65 was a little bit of a revolving door last year. This year with David there, 57 could potentially be that weight, or who do you expect to make
I tell you what, we've got a lot of guys right now at 57 that are obviously going to 57 that are really looking good in the room. I mean, we've got, Judge obviously is probably the slight favorite, but, we got a transfer in last year from Campbell. Jason Kreiser's really been looking good. We got this kid that transferred in, Huddleston, from a small college in Missouri that's really, I feel, improved a lot. We got the Stotts kid from Des Moines that's always been in there. So 57 wrestle-off's going to be a doozy. Don't have any predictions there. Zero.
Coach, very successful dual season last year. When putting your schedule together for this season, any adjustments to that based off the performances or where you go?
No, I mean, I think the one thing we wanted to get on our schedule this year that we weren't able to get on the last couple of years was like a 2-day tournament. So going to the Southern Scuffle will give us that. We wanted to get that on there. I don't love the timing of that tournament because I'm a big believer in sending kids home over the holidays and giving them a break. And it's such a long season. I mean, we open November 5th, and we're not done until mid-March. So that was kind of the one adjustment we made where we're going to do that. But, we've got a pretty darn tough schedule, and it just kind of worked out that way based on who we owed trips to and who owed us trips. And, I don't know if we necessarily went out and got anybody. Well, besides, going to the Florida and the New Orleans thing, that definitely is going to step up our schedule. I mean, looks like right now we're set to wrestle Wisconsin on the first Saturday night in November, and I think I just saw rankings out that we're 9 or they're 9 and we're 10 or something. So right away out of the gate, we're going to get a top 10 match.
The timing of the New Orleans trip and then the Scuffle, is that going to, it might be too early, but impact who might go to what, or if you send the 18 to the Scuffle?
Absolutely. We'll have to make some, we'll see where guys are weight-wise, health-wise. I don't see us taking 10 starters to the Southern Scuffle. I would like to. That would be my goal. But just in terms of resting and seeing how guys respond and how young guys, we're going to have a couple young guys in there, how they do with their weight and stuff like that, we'll see where it's at. But that's the goal.
Yeah. Broderson's a guy that you have listed at 74. I know he did the freestyle thing last spring. What have you kind of seen?
No, and that's a guy that when I mentioned all those names, that was a guy that I forgot. Julian did a great job in the offseason. He did a lot of freestyle. He spent some time in Colorado Springs. All stuff he didn't have to do, and he did do. So 74 is going to be very competitive. Joel Devine is coming off of a knee surgery, and he's going to be cleared to start wrestling here in about 2 weeks. So we'll probably hold him out of the first wrestle-off, but he'll be in contention for that weight really soon as well. By the time we get to, December, he'll be back, full steam ahead. So knock on wood, we're really healthy. He's like the last guy we kind of got to get back in there.